So today it is May 29, 2024. Um, it's been third day in a row. Now I'm creating these videos and it has been super helpful. If you ever consider doing something like that, I would highly suggest. I had a feeling that these are going to help me, but these videos actually have been way more helpful than I thought it would be. So, which is why I have been creating them, and I do plan on continuing this for a while. This morning, when I was having my breakfast, I thought I will try to have my breakfast mindfully. And I think just the thought itself kept me anchored to the place. So I was eating a muffin, not very healthy, but that's okay. I was eating a muffin and coffee, and my coffee, I finished the muffin, the coffee is still there. And the cup says, "Find joy in everyday blessings." One of my favorite cup, actually. Right now, this is my most favorite cup to drink coffee out of. As I was trying to stay present in the moment when I drank the coffee and had the muffin, I was looking at the cup and I was looking at the little steam coming off of it, and it's been 10 minutes maybe, or at least, yeah, about 10 minutes or so I started drinking the coffee, but there was still a little steam. And normally, I don't think I would even pay attention to that. I would be thinking, I don't know, maybe the rest of the day or my job applications or whatnot, tomorrow, next week. But instead of that, I was truly trying to stay present with what I was doing. And even right now, as I'm sitting down, I'm trying to feel the couch as my legs and my feet touching the fabric, and my hand, using both my hands, I'm holding the phone. These are the little things we don't even think about or feel, which is what we need to feel. These are all about stopping and smelling the roses when they talk about. It all stems from our thought. This morning I was listening to some meditation, and this thought came to my mind that any situation, good or bad, the environment, I mean, we all know that it's easier said than done, that any environment, any situation, whatever happens, we can, if we can change it, we can change. If we can change ourselves, we can change. We can try to change, or whatever we can change, we accept. And that is a key to inner peace. This is definitely easier said than done, but with practice, it's possible. It's all about more than accepting, and different people may have different ways of doing it. Sometimes what I try to do is I accept and then also try to get to the present moment, which is a different thought, because in our minds, our mind is everything. It can turn a good situation to a bad to a good, with our perceptions, our thoughts, our beliefs. So one key to everything, as I explore this field, mindfulness, spirituality, more and more, what I found is, how do I turn my mind into something positive. And there would be times when you'd have a bad day, when one thing after another would go wrong, but turning a moment to something positive. Sometime for me it's taking a shower, going out for a walk, and say if you don't want to do any of that, listening to a spiritual book or something out of the ordinary. A lot of times they would call it as breaking a pattern. You have to break the pattern and break the usual pattern with something new, something positive. And that's the key, because when we keep doing the same things, we get the same results. Like I think Einstein said it, we keep doing the same things over and over and expect different results. It's the definition of insanity. He might have said it a little differently. The point is that if we want different results, we have to do something different. If we want to get better results, we want to do better ourselves. Because as we do things differently, people around us will do things differently. In Buddhism, and Thich Nhat Hanh books, he refers it as collective consciousness. So in your house, in your family, if you're a family of 2, 3, 4, 10, how many ever, each and every individual, their thought process and everything is connected. So it is important to remember that, because a lot of time we forget and we think we are just by ourselves. Have you noticed that one day you could be having a really, really bad day, but then in the house you have something good happening, and maybe you had a bad day at work, but in the evening you feel better because everybody else around at home is making you feel better. So that's an example of how collective consciousness can make you feel better. And it can work the other way too. Say you had a really good day at work or outside, and then in the evening somehow something goes wrong at home, and the day turns bad. So unfortunately our brains are, they say it's more wired towards the negative. So we have to constantly work towards keeping our mind towards the positive zone. And it's hard. It is hard. But I gotta try. For me, what works, I noticed, is that when I try something for a few months, then the same thing doesn't work. And it could be also because my brain reaches to the familiar zone, and then it I don't know, maybe it's something like it wants to learn something new, and so I explore something more. And in the last 6 months, that's what I have done. And it's almost like when I went from one thing to the other, and it's all within the spiritual zone, one thing to the other. It was like I was going to the left, and then there was a guidepost saying that go right, and then I went to the right, and then it kept saying, okay, go straight, keep going straight, and I did that. And that is something what worked for me. You have to find what works for you. But the most important thing is, if you are doing it alone, you are gonna give up. That is the most absolute key, that you have to find. In Buddhism they call it Sangha, which means a community of practice. So you have to find some people, even if it's not too many people, it's just one friend you could have who you are connecting with, who are doing similar practice. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, some other spiritual practice or something. Because when you are deep into this practice, what you will find is, at least what I found, is no matter what happens in life, good, bad, ugly, you you want something that you can turn into, maybe not every day, but the majority of the days, if you can turn yourself into that, and if you can find some peace, that my friend is invaluable. We all know. So find your anchor. What is that you can get into? And if there is a way for you to pull your family as collective consciousness working together in it, that can get even stronger, but that is not necessary. It's for your own peace. Life is short. You want to find something that keeps you happy. And life would have sorrows and joy, suffering, peace, happiness. All of those will be in cycle. We all know that. In my 40s now, I know that if I expect for happiness 100% of the time, it's not possible. But in Buddhism, they say, if you know how to suffer well, that itself can be some sort of peace. They don't really exactly say it that way, but that's the message I took. And that is something also I'm trying to teach my daughter. She's 8 years old, Alice, and it makes me so happy that she understands a lot of it, which surprises me because she's only 8 years old, and a lot of it she understands, and she refers it also. Even sometimes she reminds me when I forget. And that is another way how your family and your collective consciousness can remind you, because the way they say our subconscious mind and conscious mind, subconscious is 95%. So pretty much everything we are doing throughout the day is controlled by our subconscious. And good or bad, unfortunately, a lot of it is actually negative because it comes from the survival instinct from our ancestors many generations ago. And I don't know why that part of our brain has not evolved further. Maybe someday they'll have some technology where that could help us. Some idea for somebody to invent something. Anyhow, so the 5% of our brain, the conscious mind, we have to work hard at it. And even though it sounds like a lot of work, and sometimes it is, but when you keep doing it for a while, it becomes a practice. And I'll tell you how I figured it. Last couple of months, I have been very consciously, I was trying to live a positive life. And now you could say that, yes, that could get exhausting. And yes, sometimes it was getting exhausting. But at the end of the day, I did like how I was responding, not reacting. And I liked the fact that I could control those bad emotions, otherwise, which would be my default reaction. And about last week or so, I was taking some Benadryl to sleep, and it was making me a little cranky. First, I thought it's not possible, but then yesterday I heard from somebody else that she also has the same experience. But anyway, I could either blame on the medicine or I could blame on myself, whichever that may be. So I was kind of very irritable for a week or so, and then I was like, okay, I gotta stop this meds. I did, and somehow I was still able to sleep, decent sleep. And the last few days I've been better. I've been better. I went back to my practice, where lots of spiritual practice, and I still have been doing probably a couple hours a day, but that is what is helping me right now. In our different phases of our life. It's different. And back in December, I probably did this type of practice 10 or 15 hours a day. It was now, they said that I was crazy to do this spiritual practice for 10, 15 hours a day. Maybe I was, but that is what helped me. That is what got me out of the sadness I was in. So you gotta do what helps you. Anyway, so with that, I kind of enjoyed making this video. It's about 15 minutes. I had no idea that I'd be talking for this long, but I did, and I'm looking forward to making these videos daily, maybe even a couple times a day if I want, or I feel like, okay, I'm living mindfully and kind of checking in for my own self so that I'm accountable and I'm doing it. It helps me to stay grounded in the present moment. It's so easy for our mind to go in the future or in the past, and I'm finding that these videos are some way helping me really, really well to, at least for a little bit, to stay here with myself, and maybe with a few of you if you ever watch these videos. And I hope you guys do something also to fill your bucket. I'm figuring out that these are becoming a little bit of my bucket fillers, which is really good. Sometimes I go out and do stuff to fill my bucket, but this is one easy way to fill the bucket. So go fill your bucket with whatever that makes you happy. With that, take care, enjoy life. Life is short. Do the things that makes you happy. Take care. Bye.